Hi everyone, it's Imogen and welcome back to Colouring Kid. Now this is going to be definitely a very long video. This is going to be my colouring book collection. I was asked by Easter Ellen, who's one of my lovely subscribers, to do this video. And I've realised that since I've started my channel, at the very beginning of my channel I did do a colouring book collection video with all my completed pages, but since then I haven't done one. And I have done annual completed pages videos, so because I started my channel in January, I would share all the completed pages from that year for those couple of years. But yeah, I haven't done a colouring book collection since then, so thank you for the suggestion, Easter, and I'm really excited to do these videos for you. I'm not sure yet how many parts it will be. I will put it down in the description though when I know. All of these videos will be uploaded when I'm starting back at college, so luckily obviously I have this content for you just whilst I'm getting into the swing of things. And if you're interested, that video that I did, it was my second video I did on my channel. I watched it back the other day just to you know, see how my collection had changed, and yeah, it was quite a laugh actually. I seem to be very opinionated about some of my books, so if you want a bit of a laugh going back 2.5 years to one of my first videos, feel free. But this is my updated colouring book collection. So I did the video in January 2019. When I'm currently filming this, it's the end of August 2021, so it has been quite a while. So obviously I've got a lot more books. I haven't counted how many, I don't really want to. If you want to count, feel free to let me know, but I haven't gone through and counted how many books I have because at this point I don't really feel like I need to. So let's get started. Firstly, I'm going to go through all my Joanna Basford books. So starting off with Secret Garden, as I've said before, if you've seen various other videos that I've done where I've talked about my colouring journey, I did a June Jux video, stuff like that, you'll know that Secret Garden was the first colouring book I ever got, along with Millie Morata's Animal Kingdom. I still I do think it was Animal Kingdom, because I had that when we lived in the north in Harrogate, and I got this now where we currently live. So I got this in 2014, but yeah, as I said, I got Animal Kingdom a little bit before that. This is on the paper that I really don't like. Lots of these books at the beginning, you'll see I just have no intention of colouring in again. That's just me. I know some people regularly colour in their earlier colouring books, but personally for me, I'm not going to. This paper just isn't the best for kind of pencils that I use, how I colour. The illustrations are also more detailed than what I would usually go for now. And as you can see, what was it, 8 years ago, obviously I was quite young then, I was only 8, so yeah, 8 or 9, so obviously my colouring has changed a lot. Some of these first books are books that I got when I was literally just colouring as a kid. I know I'm technically still a kid now, but it's not as you would call it in terms of adult colouring for me. This was very much just putting pencil to paper and colouring however I wish to, basically. So this was done with Faber-Castell Classic pencils. I had a 24 set, and I have shown this picture many times. I also I remember mentioning this in my other video at the beginning of my channel, that I didn't properly push down the binding of the book. So I've got all of this white space here where I didn't colour into the spine. I did a scribbly background with pencil. I've gone outside the lines everywhere, and you know what, I think I've said I just don't mind. This is just shows how much I've improved starting from this point, and I'm really thankful for that, and to always have this. I will always keep this with me because it's just amazing. This is where my journey started, and then as I've said, I just decide to then do random bits. I don't really have any completed pages in it. So yeah, that is that book. Oh, I do have this one. But yeah, safe to say I probably won't be colouring in Secret Garden, well, the bigger version anyway. Again, I do have a smaller copy which I will show you in a minute. Okay, we have Enchanted Forest. Now I do have 2 copies of this book. I'll share with you my other in a second. This, again, because her books came out in order, I'm showing them to you in order. So this was the next Joanna Basford book I got. This book, before Ivy and the Inky Butterfly came out, was really my tester book for that. Lots of the pages in Ivy are very reminiscent of some of the pages in this book, and I just wanted to test out different techniques. You can see when I got new supplies and stuff, I just wanted to test them out. So yeah, like the dandelions and stuff there. It's very much a tester book. I do love the paper though. In this book, it's absolutely gorgeous. I was colouring along with Peter Hewitt at that point. I think I was very inspired by her work. This was just some random drawing, but yeah, it brings back good memories. But I won't colour in this copy again. This was done with Pentel felt tips. As you can see, I did get a lot of streaking with those because they're really hard nibs. They're not like brush tips. This again was the 24 classic pencils. I believe this was one morning when I was probably about 8 or 9, and me and my mum just both coloured this page together. I think she was colouring the stag and I was doing some of the trees. And then I'm going to try and show all my computer pages if I can, rather than just flipping through the books. We have the map page. They're very bright and colourful because they only had 24 colours at this point. And then the compass, and I do really like these ones actually, in terms of, you know, I still was placing where I was going to put the colours and everything. And even with 24 colours, you know, I think I did a pretty good job. But it is just so interesting to see how my colouring has changed. And then we have my second copy. Now I have moved one of the pages, a couple of them actually, from here. I took them out because I was really proud of them and wanted to keep them in my portfolio. Now I believe this paper might even be more yellowed, yeah, than the first copy, which I don't mind. I love the cream paper. So this page I did in my old copy of Enchanted Forest. This was following Peter Hewitt's tutorial. At this point I only had the 24 classics and also these top model pencils. For any of you that don't know what top model is, it's basically a thing for kids where you have blank models on a sheet, kind of like colouring, and you basically can add clothes, stickers, and make their outfits, which I loved. That was kind of the introduction to colouring really for me. So I don't do it anymore. I still have a couple of my things, but most of them are in the garage. So that's all I had. So I couldn't really follow what colours Peter had because I didn't have any of the polychromos that she was mainly using. And then when I got this second copy, I can't remember when it was now, I decided to do it again and see how I've improved. And it would be interesting if I did get another copy and did it again, how much I would have improved the next time. So seeing them side by side, I think you can see differences between them. I definitely feel like in terms of depth I've improved a lot, like depth of colour, but that did help because of having artist quality pencils. I still didn't have all of the pencils that she was using. I just adapted to what I did have, but yeah, I'm really proud of that one. I also did another page in here, the treasure chest, and I started one in here. Can't believe I haven't gone back to it. This one, that was with whole binds. There was another page I did in my old copy, can't find it, but yeah, that is that book. Probably need to speed up a little bit because I'm quite slow at the moment. This is Lost Ocean by Joanna Basford. This again kind of turned into a tester book. You can see here, just testing different products. I did do lots of colouring in here with my top model pencils and classic pencils when I initially got it. Got a mixture of fine liner and pencil there. But this is kind of a big collection of unfinished pages, basically. That was for Joanna Basford colouring competition. I started doing rainbow there. So yeah, it was kind of half finished projects, and I think I do really like how that jellyfish came out. I think that was mainly due to the fact that because they were so detailed, and I was younger, I didn't have the motivation to finish the pages. This I did New Year one year, actually. That must have been 2016. I was testing out baby oil blends with the fish. That was a Beauty Hero tutorial. This I was just taking it bit by bit and colouring small sections of the page. And I think, yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's Lost Ocean. I have to say, it's not my favourite of her books. In general, I love Joanna Basford's style. I think it's absolutely amazing. But because of the detail and the fact that it's actually white paper and stuff like that, I don't like it quite as much as some of our others. Joanna's Christmas. Now, I can't remember whether this came out before or after Magical Jungle, but I think they came out at roughly the same time. This one, at the time, I did do a lot of pictures in. That was a blend with Prismacolor. I think I was following a Chris Chang tutorial. I used these for tags. Chris Chang tutorial. I didn't have any of the pencils she had at that point. This was, can't remember what pencils, W.H. Smith pencils actually, with quite a lot of glitter gel pen. Owl here. Lots of these are finished because I pretty much solidly worked in this book from the time when it came out. So yeah, that's quite fun. I did colour bits of this during Christmas in July that was hosted in 2017, so I didn't colour the exact pictures they were colouring, but I did colour in this book. So that is Joanna's Christmas. We then come to Magical Jungle. Again, I have a second copy, which I'll show you in a minute. This was the book that I mainly coloured in when me and my mum were waiting for my brother when he was doing football practice. This was when I just started secondary school. And a little bit before that, actually. So this was roughly on like 4 or 5 years ago. I decided to start colouring the cover, which at the time I thought was a brilliant idea, and yeah, I don't really like it. Again, this is very much a tester book now. This is the butterfly colour combo that I love. You'll probably have seen it in many of my pages now. I liked testing watercolours in this. That was Chris Chang tutorial. I had no fancy pencils at this point. So again, I was just playing around with things that I had. And as you can see, not really finishing any pages. I just took it with me and just, yeah, basically did random stuff that I felt like doing. And then my second copy I was gifted, and the only thing I've started in here is this, and this is with gouache, and it hasn't buckled that much. It's flattened down, but I did this ages ago, and I actually do like how it's coming out. I could definitely go over that with pencil, but again, because I'm working through Ivy and the Inky Butterfly, and I really like Worlds of Wonder as well. They're my favourites. I kind of neglect her older books, which I've heard lots of other people, they're exactly the same. I think it's just natural that well, at least for me anyway, when my colouring has improved, I don't really like going back to my older books with my older style, because I like having everything consistent, which sounds really silly now saying it, but that's just me. Okay, then we have Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. Now I do have a flip through video of this book, which was the first video I ever did on my channel. If you'd like a more in-depth flip through, I'm going to do a really quick flip through for you now so that you can see all of the pages. But as I said, if you want to see it in more depth, you can. This was completed from, oh my goodness, November 2017 to November 2018. So yeah, this was pretty much the only book solidly that I coloured in during that time. I did have a couple of other books, but yeah, this was pretty much the only book I coloured in hence why I managed to complete it. Nowadays I would never be able to complete one book in a year, even if I just coloured in that book, because I'm just more busy. And obviously this was at a point in my life where, you know, I was, what, 12, 13, and once the summer holidays hit, I didn't need to do anything. Even at school, you know, didn't have as many exams and things. So when I came home from school and done my and did my homework, I could just colour. Obviously now I'm more busy, but that's only natural as you get older. Especially, you know, at college and stuff. Okay, this is my second copy of Ivy and the Inky Butterfly, again by Joanna Basford. I'm going to try and flick through this for you. I have put greaseproof paper in between these pages because I do want to try and preserve them as best I can. So I'm really happy with how it's coming out so far. It's taking me a lot longer than the other book, but I honestly don't mind that. If it takes me 5, 10 years, I don't mind. As long as I enjoy it and I take my time and I'm really happy with the result, that's all that really matters for me. The Wandering page, oh my gosh, that took ages. My butterfly. Again, the colour palette that you will have seen quite a lot. I used it here as well. The keyhole page. Some of my recent pages. And this is the one that I've just started. Obviously, I'm filming this before my completed pages for August, so I might have done a little bit more of this by that time. Just keep that in mind with, you know, some of my more recent pages or books that I've received. You may not be able to see it very well, it's not showing up on camera, but I have done a cloudy light blue pastel background, but because of the lighting it is really hard to see. Is that a little bit better? Don't know. But I have started it, even though you may not be able to tell. But yeah, that is my second Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. I'm just going to try and, yeah, put that back so it doesn't crease. Okay, moving on to World of Flowers. When I started my channel, I coloured in this book a lot, and I was doing 2, 3, 4 pages a month out of this. You know, it's the same as I've said with books. I just, with my older style, I just don't colour in the books anymore, and I had done a considerable amount of pages in this book. I did a video with 40% of it completed, and pretty much after that I didn't really colour in it. I don't think I will go back to it. It's just me. It's one of the weird things that I do. I just don't see myself going back to a book where my style has changed, and the pages that I have coloured in it I now don't look at in the same way as I did when I coloured them. Some of them I'm still really happy with, but yeah, I don't think I will come back to this, but it's nice having the pictures there. I don't know if any of you do that as well. I'd love to know, because I have seen some people, you know, just don't colour in some of their older books, and maybe it's for the same reason as me. This was a mixture of Peter Hewitt and Chris Cheng's tutorials. So as you can see, I have done a fair amount in this book, and I think the fact that it was pretty much all flowers as well, not that I got bored, because I love Joanna's style, but there were just other things at that point. There were so many new books that were coming out. So that is World of Flowers. Then we have How to Draw Inky Wonderlands. I haven't actually coloured in this book, I don't think. All I've done is do some of the tutorials, because for me, if it's a tutorial book, yes, there are pictures to colour, but I would rather keep it as the tutorial book and colour in other books instead. This was a drawing that I made. I think that's pretty much it. Oh, these were a couple of other drawings I just did randomly. They are available to download for free on my website if you wish. I think that's pretty much everything. I followed a lot of these tutorials for various things, and I do really love, yes, I do really love that. Okay, and finally we come to Worlds of Wonder by Joanna Basford. Love this. Ivy and Inky Butterfly is probably my favourite. This is a very close second. Obviously, Ivy is always going to be one of my favourites because it has been the book that I have gone on to complete, and that takes a lot to colour every page in a book, and you know, you have to really like the book, I think, to do that. So this is a close second, and I do love it. This is, I haven't put my name in that yet. This is the first one that I did, and I have done another page in this. Again, this came out in April. It's just obviously with having more books and stuff now, I just haven't got around to it as much as I'd like to. There is a colouring competition for the mushroom page, and I've only got a couple of days of August left. Excuse me. So I know I won't get around to that, unfortunately, but I do really like what I have coloured. I've just used Prismacolors in this, and I really like it. Okay, the only other Joanna Basford thing I have to show you, apart from postcards and stuff, which I'll share at a later time, is the miniature Secret Garden, and this I will keep colouring in. I've done a couple of pages in this actually. I've done the nameplate page, that on Christmas Day, and I also did this little one. I do need to go over with white gel pen. This one I always think would be really nice. Well, actually I've been experimenting a bit with my pages, colouring them and scanning them in and making them into stickers. I always thought that would be quite nice to do with this because it's such a small book that they would look really nice on sticker, like little stickers. So I might try experimenting with that. But I got this from my aunt, uncle and cousins for Christmas. I love it. It's a very compact size and it's much better quality than the other miniature book I'm going to show you. So moving on to Millie Morata now. I'm going to share this with you first before the bigger books. Yeah, the quality of this is not great. It's glue bound, and the pages, as soon as you put a fold down, like you crease it down, it's kind of just... the pages are pulling away from each other and making, yeah, kind of ruining the pages. Unfortunately, well, no, fortunately, I was very lucky to be able to get this as one of my things with the Ko-fi money that you donated. But unfortunately, you know, the quality of this book isn't great, and it's such a shame because obviously I got it with your money. I think at the time it was about £3 on Amazon, but this was a labour of love. Oh my goodness. This took ages. I started it, put it away, finally finished it, and yeah, it's just very glittery. I kind of just wanted to finish it. But it's such a shame because I probably won't colour in this again. It really depends, I might, but again, it might be nice to try and make some stickers or something out of these pages. As you can see, some of the fine liners did bleed through a little bit, but that is Miniature Animal Kingdom. Moving on to the bigger books. Now I'm not going to spend long on these because if you watched my first colouring book collection video, you know with these I've pretty much ruined these books. I cut bits out of these to make little postcard bits and cards and bookmarks, and yeah, it's really just a tester book now. That was the Jane Davenport shiny pastels actually. Some of these are coloured again because this is literally my first colouring book. At the time I really liked how that was coming out, but yeah, I won't work in this one again, which is why I wanted to get the miniature one. That was Stabilo felt tips, and I did do one with Sharpie in here, I knew that. And also I have the colouring postcards, so I worked on those a lot for family and friends. I did 12 quite a few times over for people as their open one a month present that I've talked about before. I basically colour 12 postcards as a gift, and then give them a frame, and it's one for them for every month for a year. Millie Morata's Tropical Wonderland. Again, this is very much tester book. I haven't ruined this one as much as I did with Animal Kingdom actually, but I did do some actual finished pages in this. As you can see here, I've got this one. Oh, I saw I had another one. Am I going mad? Pretty sure I did, but maybe that's just me. Oh. Yeah. That was Tropical Wonderland. We have Wild Savannah, and again I've cut this one up a bit. I have worked on the postcards a lot more, but obviously you won't see any of that progress because I've given them away. We have the birds, and I know I've done more in here. I did just see one. Here we go. This one, as I said in my first video, I will never do a colour palette like this again. But this was the first step with me shading actually, because I just took one pencil and did dark and light pressure with that one pencil. So all of this red is one. So I didn't actually use that many pencils. So it was a good introduction to later techniques that I discovered. We then have Curious Creatures. I really like how this page turned out. I wasted a whole Derwent blender pen when I first got them ages ago on this background and watered down some silver paint. This one I completely ruined with that yellow background. Again with this, I mean all the pens are running out, just a bit of a shambles really. I did start the anemones here. Yeah, that is that book. And finally, we have one that I have done a completed page in, which is my newest. Again, I got this for my birthday from my uncle, aunt and cousins, and I finally got around to it because I wanted to wait for a time where it was closer to autumn. I had so many other projects going on. So this is Millie Morata's Woodland Wild, and I do really like this one. I can see myself colouring more of the pages in this one, definitely, because I really like it. The one I have done was my favourite page in this book, and usually I would never colour my favourite page first, just in case I ruined it, but I really wanted to do one because I was inspired to do it. I thought, oh yeah, I want to go to this book and do this page. So this was entirely in Arteza pencils, nothing else, no white gel pen, no embellishments at all. I really like that it's just pencil. I did a pencil background as well. This is for A is for August, which is Colourfully Optimistic's alphabet challenge that she's doing. So yeah, I really wanted to participate, and I'm glad that I managed to. Obviously, I will have shown this, I mentioned this as well, Curious Colour Along, in my August completed pages, because bear in mind these will all be uploaded after my completed pages video and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, that was one that I wasn't expecting to get round to this month, but I did. So really happy about that. And I really enjoyed doing it as well. It only took me a couple of days. We have Lizzie Mary Cullen's books next. I have two. We have The Magical City by Lizzie Mary Cullen, as I just said. This one I was inspired to get by Peter Hewitt, and I haven't done much in it. Let's just put it that way. We have this, which was W.H. Smith watercolours. I didn't have Inktense at this point. I didn't really water the watercolours down. They were tubes of watercolour, so I thought it would work if I literally just took the tube of paint and used the thick paint. Didn't work very well. If I felt inspired to, I might colour a page in here. You never know, but her pictures are very detailed, and I do like her style, but yeah, it is just very, very detailed. That was a PTO tutorial. I didn't have Inktense, so I used my pencils instead. Pencils? No, W.H. Smith watercolours. I think that's everything. Yeah, that's Magical City, and then we have The Magical Journey. So this one I did a few more in. Again, I didn't have any fancy pencils. I think, yeah, that was watercolour, I want to say. Yeah, and pastel for the background. Again, watercolour and pastel. This one was the top model pencils, and I think a few W.H. Smith ones. Entirely pencil. This one took quite a while, and the pages are kind of actually curling up because of how much burnishing I did. I did use actual stickles for accents, and if you know me, you know I don't use stickles on my books anymore because of the indentation that you then get when trying to colour on the opposite page. I save it for cards and stuff instead, but that's super shiny. And yeah, that is that. I think that's what I did in that one. Okay, moving on to all of the Airy books that I have. I have a couple of second copies. We have Romantic Country, the first tale. Again, I'm going to flip through these fairly quickly because these are all my first copies that I have no intention of colouring in again. That was the first time I coloured this page, and actually at the time I was really pleased with it. That was with my Prismacolors. Testing with watercolour, that one. This one. This was all either Polychromos or Prismacolor, unless I say otherwise. At this point I'd kind of only just got them and I was just playing around with the actual pencils rather than colour palette, anything like that. As I said in my other video, don't know why I decided to do that, a bright garish green, but there you go. I did take this on holiday with me when we went to France in 2017, so yeah, quite a lot of it was that. I know I have another page which I think got skipped. Oh, I can't remember where it is now. There's definitely one, maybe it's in the other copy. That is the first one. This is my second copy of Romantic Country. I did this one in October. Yeah. It was, I can't remember if it was at the beginning of October or the end, but it was near Halloween. This one, again, was all Prisma. I was trying to do the same sort of colour palette, but see how my colouring is improved. I used the Jane Davenport Sparkly Pastels for the background as well. Quite a lot of glitter on that one. I did this one. This was a buddy colour with Rachel. Again, I thought I'd done another in here. Maybe I'm getting confused. Yeah, I think I must be getting confused. It's the second book. And we have Romantic Country, the second tale. Probably my favourite of the three. Lots of these were Prismacolor. Very bright colours. That's the one I was looking for. Yeah, I did that in France. This one, lots of stickles on there. That was the first page I ever did. I've talked at length about this book, this page, sorry, about how I got this book for Easter and my 72 Prismacolor set for Easter, and this was the first page I did with them. I just put a load of the pencils down. I must have used nearly the whole set. That was a little bit of testing with the W.H. Smith pencils, a very bright colour palette there. That was a Shirley XLY tutorial, and this was a pencil stash one that I didn't finish. That's pretty much everything. So yeah, that's the second tale, and I do have a second copy of the second tale. Here we go. This was a buddy colour with Lisa. Again, my colouring has changed a lot since I did this. I did do a video on my channel, so this was 2019, so about 2 years ago now. And that was Prismacolor and Holbein. Holbein, I don't really like how they work on this paper just because of how smooth the paper is. I've got this one as well. I did this partly on stream and I was trying to white out the lines and it didn't really make a difference, to be honest. Yeah, I think that's everything. We have Romantic Country, the third tale. Don't have a second copy of this. I would really like one, but if I end up getting a second copy, it will probably be the Japanese edition, which I prefer the paper in the Japanese editions actually, so that would not be a bad thing. But yeah, again, all the same sorts of pencils. I did do a lot in this book when I got it actually. This was when I had just picked up quite a few singles of the Polychromos from Hobbycraft. I really like that one. Yeah, just a lot of pages not finished. It's a running theme with my earlier books. That's actually the first page I did in this book and it is completed. Chris Chang tutorial I didn't finish. But yeah, I just didn't go through with finishing them, and yeah, that is that book. And then we have one of my favourite pages, probably my most favourite area page that I've coloured. And I haven't really coloured that many, have I, as we've just established with those books. But this one is the fairy tale colouring book by Eri. This is the Japanese paper. I love it. I just think it's absolutely amazing paper. It's so thick. It's got a bit of tooth to it. It's probably my favourite of all of her books as well. And I really do want to come back to this at some point. The only page I've coloured in here was back in January. And it was this one. It was either January or February, actually. I think I'm getting confused. Anyway, when I did this page, I got so many compliments about it. Thank you so much. I absolutely love how this one turned out. I just used Prismacolor. I hardly used any pencils, actually, because it was a very small kind of colour palette, and I had just got lots of my Calero paints, and I decided to embellish this so much. I've done a tutorial on how I did the sparkly dress if you're interested. I used white gel pen to outline nearly everything, Jelly Roll Glaze, Silver Signo. I just love it. It took a while. The outlining actually took longer than the actual colouring. I got inspired by a page of the Snow Queen, a picture of the Snow Queen, sorry, that I'd seen on the internet, because I knew I wanted to colour this page and I wanted to be inspired by something. So that was that one. I might come back to this for Christmas, you never know. Do that one. There are a couple of other Christmassy ones, but I just adore this book, and this paper really lends itself well to water media. As you can see, I did use the water media and there's no buckling or anything. Really like that. It's probably my favourite area book, which is open to controversy because I know everybody loves the romantic country books, and I do as well, but I think this is a lovely book. I don't have any of her Tracing Around the World books. I would love them, but it's just a case of time, and I would at this moment rather spend time colouring more in this book especially than buying more. So that was that book. I was also very kindly gifted the money to be able to get that from Kim, which is very kind of her. And now we come to all of my Kirby Rosanz books. Depending how long this video is, these may be the last books I show you. Not sure yet. But yeah, this is Anamorphia by Kirby Rosanz. I don't have all of Kirby's books, just like Eri's books. I don't have all of them. Well, similarly to quite a few collections of books that I will share with you. This was a book that I must have got. Oh, when was it? I want to say 2016. Oh, yeah, roughly that time. It was very early on compared to all of his other books that I've got. This is a tester book. I've barely got any completed pages in it. I have got one completed page, which is somewhere in my portfolio. You've seen it before. It's definitely in my first video. It's the Beast double spread. So I have completed a page in this, but other than that, I haven't completed any. I was mainly inspired to get this from Peter Hewitt as well. Her pages are gorgeous. This one was with the top model pencils. But yeah, I do prefer Kirby's later books just because of, you know, his style, and there aren't as many doodles. So that's probably my least favourite of his books anyway, so I won't get a second copy of that. We then have Anamorphia. Now, even though this was his second book that came out, I only got it last year during lockdown along with Mythomorphia, and I've still got the sticker from the works on there, but they're such a good price. They're literally half price. I don't intend on getting all of his books. The ones that I have at the moment are all of the ones that I want, and actually, even though this was his second book, the doodles don't bother me as much. I actually like them in this. I think I've only done one page in this one. I do have intentions of doing more at some point, if I can just find it. This was a buddy colour with Effie. Really like how this one came out. I did a yellow background, which is something that I don't usually do. This was all Holbein's Prismacolors, polychromos, quite a few. Bit of glitter there. My colour palette for the butterflies that I always seem to do. The only thing I want to get out of the habit of doing is just sticking to pinks and purples and blues and whatever for flowers, and try and do other colours. I did do a few here, but It's just something that I've been wanting to try and change a bit with my colouring, just because otherwise I end up with green, blue, purple, pink as a running colour palette, which is why I was so happy that I did the yellow, because usually I would have gone for a pink background to go with everything else, but I'm really pleased that I did that. It was a challenge for me. And then we have Mythomorphia. I've done quite a few in this. I love this book. It's probably my second favourite. Maybe, I don't know. This kind of, obviously I'm showing my colouring book collection. I'll still show you the books that I haven't coloured anything in yet, but it's kind of a complete pages video as well. This one was a buddy colour with Valentina. This was my most recent page in this book. Again, I did a cloud background. I really like the limited colour palette with that one. This one was a buddy colour with Kay from Colouring with Kay, all Prismacolor. Love the colour palette of the dragon. I was really proud of myself for that. And also the fire, because usually I wouldn't have gone for a bright colour palette like this. It was an Arteza background that I blended with Zestit Blend as well. And this was a Shirley XLY colour along. So as you can see with this, I've been a bit braver and bolder with my colour palettes. So usually I would never have done a colour palette like this. But I'm really proud of myself. I have just realised I did not colour that star in. Oh my god, I can't believe I didn't do that. I don't have a yellow pencil near me. Oh yeah, I do. I have this one. Sorry, let me just quickly colour that in, otherwise that's going to bug me. And I'll forget to do it after the video. So, okay, now this picture's complete. There we go. Oh my goodness. So yeah, that was the, oh my gosh, I can't remember what this was called. The Baku, that's it. That's Mythomorphia. Then we have Worlds Within Worlds, and I haven't done as many as I really would have liked to in this book, but the ones I have done I'm pleased with. I think I've only done a couple. We have this one, which is a buddy colour with Robin. That's my most recent one. This one, actually no. I can't remember if this was my most recent one. This must have been, yeah. Yeah, this was. This was all Prismacolor. I really like how Prismacolors work in this. I tend to just use them. Again, I've got a tutorial for how I did the clouds on this page. The outlining, again, took longer than the actual colouring. I used Arteza pencils though. Arteza white gel pen. Little bit of glaze, Jelly Roll metallic on that. Really like that one. And this is the double spread that I've done. This was the first page I did in this book. I attempted this purely because I had the time. I must have done this in May or June of lockdown last year, and ordinarily I would have never attempted doing a double page spread because I simply don't have the time anymore to do some really detailed pages like this. But I'm so proud of it, and yeah, all Prismacolor. I really like how it turned out. I use Zestit Blend a lot for all of the blending, and it really did speed up the process because this was a huge space to fill. I drew in my own sun. I think that's pretty much all. Actually, I made these look like blue from Jurassic World. I really, really like that. So that's Worlds Within Worlds. And then we come to Fragile World. Again, by the time we get to my completed pages, I may have done a little bit more of this spread that I'm working on. It's going to be, or is a buddy colour with Valentina. The only other one I've done here is a buddy colour with Effie, and I love it. This is my favourite page in the book. Again, it's usually unlike me to do my favourite page first, but I got this book right before my exams were starting, or like during the time where I had some exams, and I just thought, you know what, you're not going to have time to colour lots of pages in this book, so colour the one you really want to do. So I decided to go for this one. So all Prismacolor. I struggled so much with how to do the polar bears and to make them still look defined, but yeah, I just added lots of yellow and pink as kind of highlights. Again, pastel background with pencil over it, and yeah, white gel pen and glaze and some metallic. So that is Fragile World. I'm going to go and get some more books and I will be back with you shortly. Okay, so for this last part to part one, I thought I would share with you a few of the miscellaneous books that I have that are from kind of the earlier part of my collection, and also share with you the colouring books that my mum has as well at the end. So what I've kind of decided is that this will definitely be 2 if not 3 parts. So if you want to be notified when I upload the videos, then feel free to hit the bell notification. Obviously you don't have to if you don't want to, but it's just so that you know when they're going to be uploaded, because I hope that they'll be uploaded like in succession quite quickly if I manage to. So the first couple of books I have aren't actually colouring books, but they're ones that I kind of intended to be colouring books. We have Poem Still of Your Life by chosen and illustrated by Chris Riddle. I have 100 Hugs, which I'll share with you at a later stage because I do actually colour in that. I haven't coloured anything in this. I don't really intend to. I sent one back, one of his books back, because some of the topics of some of the poems were a bit gory, like not very pleasant. So yeah, this is definitely not going to be one that I colour, I don't think. I think I've been reading it as a poem book, so I think I will stick with that. So yeah, I don't really see myself colouring in that one, unfortunately. We then have Kenny and the Dragon. I found this at an Oxfam bookshop, and originally I was going to colour in it, and I did actually colour one page. This one, having said that, I would like to maybe redo it. I read the story, it's so gorgeous, but yeah, I just haven't got around to it. I think, you know, I got this like 2 years ago, and there are just other books, but I do really like it, and even if I don't colour in it, I will still keep it as a reading book because it's so cute. We then have Escape to Shakespeare's World by Good Wives and Warriors. I would actually quite like to get the other books, The Wizard of Oz and the Alice in Wonderland one at least. This one again was very much a tester book for me when I first started my collection. It was one of the books that I'd seen around on YouTube and I wanted to get, and I was really surprised to find it in W.H. Smith and Waterstones. I was actually really proud of that one at the time, The Mermaid. But there's one that I would like to do in here, which I keep saying, I would actually really like to do it. It's the double spread of the mushrooms, this one. I will have to take the book apart though, because what I would like to do is like stick them together and frame it, but yeah, I'm not sure. This one, I got 3 Neo colours open stock. The blue, pink, no not the pink, the purple and the teal colour, and coloured this page with them, and I actually really like that one. We have these ones again, watercolours and things. That's pretty much it. I actually did colour this Egyptian one for Effie's Egyptian colour along that she did, but I ended up scanning it into the computer, printing it off onto a card so that I could use marker and things like that. I was really, really proud of it. I ended up sending it to her. So yeah, that's that book. We then have Zen Doodle Colouring Magical Fairies by Deborah Miller, and I won this from Nikki and Niagara. I believe it was for her 1k subscribers. It's when I just started YouTube, along with a 12 set of Inktense pencils. I've since used the Inktense a lot for cards and things, not so much in my books, but I used a lot of glitter. I had to, well, I was testing out making my own skin tone out of the pencils that I had. I have done a page in here, this one, with just Neo colours, no, just the Inktense and a couple of Neo colours. As you can see, I've got the Wink of Stella there. I tend not to use the Wink of Stella much now because it just transfers. I tend to use my Stardust glittery paint. But if you're a fan of Deborah Miller, I would definitely recommend getting this one. It's obviously Fairies, but it's kind of her older style. I know it's not directly one of her books that she has on Amazon. It's not Amazon paper, I don't think. It's slightly thicker. But yeah, that is that book. It's from the Zen Doodle colouring collection rather than her Amazon collection. We then have the Flower Fairies colouring book. I was literally just talking about this in my first colouring book collection video, and talking about how much I really disliked lots of the pictures because they were just tester pages. And yeah, I took this on holiday with me when we went to France. I got some cheap watercolour pencils that I liked experimenting with at the time. The only picture I've actually completed, apart from those that I've just shown you, is this one. And I did actually complete another page, which was one of the Christmas pages that I gave to my parents and they put up every year for Christmas. The paper's actually really nice in this book. I just don't see myself coming back to it. We then have another old school book that I got right at the beginning of my colouring collection journey. This is the Cath Kidstone colouring book, and again I cut quite a bit out of this for cards. I was testing watercolours in this book, random pencils and pages. I just didn't stick with anything, I think, because it was very patterny. And the thing is, I love Cath Kidstone, but I don't like the way the patterns have been translated into the colouring. It makes it very difficult to colour them. But I do love that they give you the thumbnails of all the pictures, because you can make them look like them if you wish to. And if I had the patience, I would, but that's that one. We then have In the Forest, Colour and Frame. This is by Stacey Peterson, and I have actually coloured a picture in this. I was given this by Uncle Jim and Auntie Lynn when we went to stay with them. This is a really sweet book, and I coloured this one with my Crayola pencils actually. Really simple one. It's really sweet. I love that it's spiral bound as well. Again, this isn't on Create Post paper, but this would just be so lovely to do little cards or stickers out of, anything like that. I started marker, that did not go very well. As you can see, I didn't come back to it. I was testing my new small set of Copics that I got. I actually really like that picture. But I love the style in this book, and I would like to come back to it. Another one from there, we've got The Beautiful Creatures by Nicole Stalker. And when I originally showed this book in the video, I was saying how much you know, wasn't good at grayscale and stuff, and actually I've since done quite a lot of grayscale stuff. Still not the best at it, but it does speed up the colouring. The only one I've done in here is this one, the title page. I think for me, the thing that makes this difficult is that I think these are just photos, and trying to make the photo look like a colouring, I think, is quite difficult. So yeah, that's why it's just quite tricky, and I haven't come back to it, but it is really cute. And if you love colouring realistic things, then that one would be a good one for you. There's also beautiful, I want to say nature, could be wrong there. We have My Colourful Town by Chaki Ida. I got this soon after I got one of my romantic country books because it very much reminded me of romantic country. There is a gorgeous book called Monochrome, I want to say, by Chaki Ida. I can't find it anywhere. I would love to have it even if I didn't colour in it. So if any of you know where I can get that book, I'd love to know. It's not obviously intended as a colouring book, I don't think, but this book is very cute. If I hadn't ruined it with some of the pages that I'm going to show you in a minute, I would colour in this one. That's the other thing with me. If I feel like I've ruined a book, I don't colour in it, which is really sad. Yeah, I was just testing my watercolours out. As you can see, the paper did not take it very well. Bearing in mind, this was 5 years ago. It didn't take it well at all. This one I actually really like. This is Polychromos. I think that's everything. The paper's really smooth though, and it is very lovely. I was testing out whiting out lines with the ink that I got. That's that one. Okay, then we have the Kew Gardens Exotic Plants colouring book, and this one I was given by a family friend. Haven't actually coloured anything in this one. Again, it is grayscale, but hasn't called to me yet. I do really like the illustrations that have been given on the left hand side, so yeah, that's that one. I've got two Colouring Heaven books. The first one I got was the Timeless Beauties Special, 40 Beautiful Portraits and Flowers from Momo Girl. I was given this by Susie from Susie's Colouring Cottage, well, since her channel name is changed to @Susie's Cottage, I believe, which was so sweet of her, and it was the first happy mail I ever got. I did an awful picture in this book. The Momo Girl books are actually available to buy on Book Depository now. There's a lot of Korean books and foreign books that you can now get. Bit skeptical about that. I'm not sure if they're actually genuine books. There's like the Forest Girl books as well on there, but I'm not sure. I would possibly really like to get one, but yeah, just letting you know if any of you are interested. This was the one that I was really not happy with. As you can see, the streaking is just, yeah, not great. I just put loads of glitter on there instead to kind of cover it up. I did this one sometime, I feel like it was sometime this year. I was actually quite pleased with that. I like the colour palette. The thing with this was, the annoying thing about the marker set I have is that, yes, there are light colours, but the light colours aren't light enough. And I don't have a good light green. The lightest green I have is this lime green, and I don't really have a muted one. But I had fun doing that. It was just nice to try out, yeah, using my markers. So that's the Timeless Beauties. We then have the Colouring Heaven Fairy Tale Special by Hannah Lynn. I did want to get, well, the thing is, because I'm not a subscriber to Colouring Heaven, because I don't want every issue, I do sometimes feel like I've missed ones that I would want to get. But yeah, this one I'm happy that I got. The one of the ones that I've done in here is this Tinkerbell one. As you can see, I didn't have a colour for her skin tone. It's literally orange. So yeah, don't like the skin tone with that at all. This one is all Prismacolor. As I said in my first collection video, this red I would never blend with a white anymore, because I chewed up literally half of my white pencil trying to burnish that. I know, have I done another one in here? I think I've just started this one, yeah, so that one there. But I would come back with markers and do one of these. Not so much a fan of the thicker lined artworks. I much prefer her thinner ones. So that is Hannah Lynn's, and she's since come out with quite a few more with Colouring Heaven actually. So they are the other miscellaneous books I want to show you, but I do also want to show you the books that my mum has. I think these are all of them, unless I could be getting that wrong. The first one is the Liberty colouring book. Now, she obviously, I think she likes colouring books, but she doesn't do it as much as me. And she colours when I do colouring, so she doesn't colour when I'm not. So she just picks what she feels like doing. And oh, I think at this point she was just using felt tip pens. I would never have been able to complete that if that was me. I'm amazed she did. She then got a copy of Fantastic Zoo. I bought it for her actually, and coloured with me when I was colouring in my copy. Trunkfish there. Seahorse. I really like the colour palette of her seahorse one. I think that's gorgeous. Flamingos. Oh, she's done quite a few in this. The chameleon, rabbit, polar bear. She did that for my colour along, I think. And then finally, the Orla Keely colouring book. She bought this on holiday and actually did a little bit in it. So she generally either uses my pencils or well, she doesn't have any pencils, but she just uses sometimes ones that I don't use anymore. like that fox, that's gorgeous. She just is very happy using whatever. She used Prismacolors for that one. Faber-Castell Classics, I think that was. Oh, I do like those pairs there. And that's a actual Orla Keely colour palette, I think. That is everything. So, that's all I'm going to show you in part 1. Part 2 will feature a lot of my hardback colouring books, other artists' collections that I have. Part 2 will definitely be more of my up-to-date colouring. Lots of the recent books that I definitely, you know, continue colouring in all the time. Judging by the amount that I have left, I'm not sure yet whether I will need a third part, possibly, because I also do want to share my PDFs. So we'll see. I will let you know, but it's all kind of with time, and I don't want these videos to be horrendously long. If I can keep them to roughly an hour, that would be great. So yeah, that's all from me in this video. Thank you so much all for watching. I really, really appreciate it. As I said, yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all in my next video. Take care, everyone. Bye.